our eyes, our sight has its limitation. We can't see everything. So all we can see is the superficial level. So sometimes good people suffer from bad effect. Good people should enjoy happy life. That's what the law of cause and effect tells us. And sometimes we see seemingly bad people enjoying abundant lifestyle. But again, this way of looking is not deep enough, because we have to examine, is my judgment fair? We say good people, bad people. This is our own judgment. But is that judgment fair enough? We have to have this doubt first. And usually we think we are good people. We are kind people. We are generous. And if we have a sibling, I'm the best child among my siblings. And on freeway, when we drive, we think I'm the best driver among those all the drivers. But is that a fair judgment? Even psychologists say this is a fallacy. We all have. But the reality is we are good people, but sometimes we behave badly. Sometimes we ignore traffic signal. And then, I didn't mean that, but I happened to do that. Sometimes we ignore the pedestrians, and sometimes we cheat in examination, and sometimes we overeat, and sometimes we enjoy gossiping. There are so many miscellaneous bad deeds we do in our daily life. And how much bad deeds are permissible? Each person's range is different. But Buddha said the law of cause and effect has no exception. Good causes always bring good effects, and bad causes always bring bad effects. Even a small bad deeds will bring bad effects. If it accumulates, bad effect will accumulate too. And actually, when we allow ourselves a small bad deeds, that creates energy that makes the next bad deeds easier. It's like somebody do shoplifting and he was not found. So he made it. Oh, I made it. I got something for free. And this was his first time. And of course, he will commit the second one, because the first one was easy. And if he succeeds in the second one, naturally he will commit the third one. The first bad karma makes the second one easier, and the second bad deeds makes the third bad deeds easier. And in this way, we'll be trapped in a vicious cycle. I think this applies to everything. It's not my idea, Buddha said so. This is how we create our habit. So this is a vicious cycle. And the vicious cycle is very attractive. Many people will be trapped in it. So one example is anger. Many people are suffering from their own anger. And they wonder why I was born short-tempered. Maybe this is my personality. So I have short temper. So I can't fix it. People in this way, but people want to fix it. So they go to anger management workshop, something like that. Anger management started in the US, and now Japan has imported this concept. Many Japanese are also suffering from anger. Although many people think Japanese people are reserved and calm, but still they are suffering from anger. So it's not that people are born short-tempered. We develop our own short temper by getting angry again and again. When we feel a little frustration and when it piles up, we cannot hold it and we want to release it, which means we show anger. And at that moment, we feel a little bit pleasure or joy by releasing it. I don't know if we can call it joy or pleasure, but releasing it feels good. It's like relieving ourselves. I think it was Freud. He called it catharsis. We have something bad inside. It's toxin. So when we release it, it gets out of our system, we feel good. So Freud said, releasing anger is good. I think that's what Freud said. And not only anger, but sadness. When you feel sad, crying out is good. Shedding tears is good. Then you can release your sadness and grief. When you feel sad, don't hesitate and shed tears. This is one catharsis. He applies this to anger too. Releasing anger is like releasing pressure. If the pressure pan has too much pressure inside, it might explode. So before explosion, you might as well release the pressure. And you feel catharsis. But in today's psychology, such a pressure pan theory proved wrong. Our mind is not like pressure pan. But releasing anger can become habitual. The initial feeling of catharsis makes you feel more of that. So next time you feel a little frustration, you want to feel such catharsis again. And then you show anger. And then you experience temporary catharsis. But after temporary catharsis comes regret. People feel regret. I shouldn't have burst into temper. But it's too late. And without our knowing, we are developing bad habit. So this is what I explain as vicious cycle. People are getting trapped in this vicious cycle. So we were not born as short temper. We create our own short temper. There are so many short-tempered people. They develop their short temper by repeatedly getting angry. So as Buddhists, we have to go to the opposite direction. And then we'll be trapped in a good cycle. Instead of getting angry, we exercise patience. Patience is one of the 6 parameters. Buddha taught 6 types of good deeds. Patience is good, opposite of anger. So this can be our good cycle. Each time we feel a little bit frustration, we exercise patience. And this is going to be our good habit. One concrete method is just count 10 when you feel anger inside. While counting 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, your anger naturally subsides. Anger is very temporary. We can forget about it very quickly. But people dwell on it. That's not so good. When people have enemy, they think about their enemy very much. Oh, he said this to me, and he did that to me at that time. Why did he have to do that? I don't like that. People dwell on this kind of thought, and then hold grudge and develop anger and hostility. So this is not good. Stay away from that thought. You have to forget about that. When we start such thought, maybe we need to count 10. 1, 2, 3. To make our mind empty. Like a meditation. Having bad thought is already a karma. It's called karma of the mind. It will surely bring a bad consequence. So this is the law of cause and effect. People just think having a bad thought is harmless. It doesn't directly harm anybody. And it's invisible. Nobody can see my thought. No matter what kind of thought we are conceiving and embracing, nobody can see it. So we have freedom. Yeah, it's invisible. But invisible karma will bring about visible effect. This is the scary part of karma. That's why people scare about karma. People use karma in a negative connotation because when people have bad consequence, that's a big misfortune. People kind of know that was caused by bad karma. When somebody is smoking a lot, and his friends and family members tell him, you should not smoke so much, you get cancer in the future. But smokers enjoy so much smoking, they don't listen. And then many of them in his later years get cancer, lung cancer. And then they say, oh, that's bad karma. But it's too late. So, smoking is the bad karma of the body. In many cases, some people don't have cancer even though they smoke a lot. There are some exceptions. Maybe they have different causes. But in many cases, smoking is bad karma of the body. But I think this is caused by karma of the mind. In their mind, they believe smoking is good. Smoking is fun. I feel good. And I want to enjoy my life. And I don't care about what people say. They have this karma of the mind. That's invisible. But this karma of the mind allows himself to smoke as much as he wants. And he will end up having cancer and premature death. So, going back to the topic of cycle. So many people now know how can we have bright future, happiness. It all starts from our thought. One good thought is the very beginning. One good thought creates good action. And good action will create good habit. And good habit will create good character. And good character brings happiness. Good destiny. Once you have good character, the last stage is autopilot, effortless. Good character naturally bring about good future. So, developing good character needs a lot of effort. Having good thought is the very beginning, and then create good action. There are some effort, necessary effort. and then continuing that good action, you need a lot more effort. Making effort is the fifth, 6 parameters. And then you can develop good habit. Then you just continue again and again. Once you develop a habit, it's easier to repeat it. But continuing good habit also needs some effort too. Some people go to gym every week, but sometimes you want to slack off. Even though you have been going to the gym for the past many months, still sometimes you want to quit and cancel it. You want to slack off and take an easy way. But you fight against your desire. And then go to the gym and you feel good. And you thought, oh, I feel good. I fought against my desire and came to this gym. So it all starts from our mind. So cultivating our mind is very important. People's minds are not cultivated. Buddha said, our mind is like a wasteland, so disorganized and messy and full of garbage. If you want to grow vegetables there, first thing you have to do is cultivate the soil. The soil is not ready yet. With this disorganized, messy mind, if you keep on living, you can't create good action. Unfortunately, majority of people living with such disorganized mind. Of course, people practice meditation and try to organize their mind and cultivate their mind, and that's very good. If you don't do that, we are always driven by our own impulse, which is our desire. We want to experience pleasure and fun and temporary joy, immediate gratification. That's all we think. Naturally, our behavior becomes bad and relationship sour and society becomes disorganized and cause a lot of problem. So the source is here. It's not that limited number of bad people creating the problem of the society. We ourselves are contributing to some extent with a bad thought in our mind. So we start from here, cultivating. So how can we cultivate our mind? So this is the law of cause and effect. Good causes produce good effect, and bad causes produce bad effects, and my causes produce my effect. This sounds so simple and sounds too easy. No, it's not easy. It's not simple. I'm going to explain it more and more. But first, we need to implant this principle sinks in our mind. We need to repeat this all the time. Good causes produce good effects, bad causes produce bad effects, and my cause produce bad my effect. And we behave in align with this principle. In this way, we are cultivating our mind. But the law of cause and effect is not about our past. It's about our future. We can't change our past, but we can change our future. If you practice good deeds, naturally you will have good effects. And if you avoid bad deeds, you will avoid bad effects. In this way, we are creating our own future. That's the message of the law of cause and effect. So from now on, I'd like you to memorize this law and put it into practice. Did I explain 6 parameters before?
Yes.
Do you remember the 6?
I know there's kindness, giving, there's cultivation of self, discipline was one of them, patience, diligence, and contemplation or reflection of the self.
Yes, very good. This is the 6 parameters. Giving, kindness, discipline, keeping promises, forbearance, patience, diligence, effort, contemplation, self-reflection, wisdom, self-cultivation. Many philosophers say patience is the source of peace. We know the importance of patience, but not many people practice this. Why? They don't know the teaching. They don't know the law of cause and effect. They don't know the power of karma. That's why. So, by learning the teaching of Buddha, we learn the law of cause and effect and karma. So, this is going to be the source or the power for us to practice patience. But people unfortunately don't know, they don't have access to this precious teaching. That's why they can't change their bad habit and they get trapped in the vicious cycle. So instead of getting trapped in the vicious cycle, we'll be trapped in what is the opposite of vicious cycle in English?
I guess a positive cycle?
Oh yeah, positive cycle.
Yeah.
There's such a cycle. And then, even if we want to get out of this cycle, we are trapped. So we keep on doing good deeds. So that's what we should be. Learning the teaching is the power. So Buddha, 2600 years ago, he predicted in the future the world become more and more chaotic because bad idea and thought will prevail. And there will be so much more stimulation to our desires, our worldly passions. Buddha predicted this. So we have internet and technology. So we are blessed with a lot of chances to satisfy our desires. And because of internet, bad thought can also prevail very quickly. So they just think having immediate gratification is good. Of course, it's good, but people are trapped. And they don't have much chance to learn good thought. Economists said bad money overwhelmed good money. I don't remember the exact quote, but some scholar said so. Bad money and good money. Bad money have more power to spread. So good thought should spread more, but actually bad thought can spread more widely. So that is what is happening now. Maybe because of Hollywood movie, I don't know, or internet, violence, bad deeds can spread very quickly. So we have to start sharing good thought, good teaching, good ideas, good philosophy. That's the way how we can change this world. World peace doesn't start in an instant. We have to start from here. And we practice kindness. And then once we can establish peace in our home, in our neighborhood, in our community, that will naturally spread to the world. Sometimes people proclaim world peace, and then they are having quarrel all the time in their family. In that way, world peace will never be possible. We have start from a vicinity, in our relationship and in our family and neighborhood. And then that will naturally spread. We'll become the influencer. So once we learn Buddhism, we take opportunity and share it with other people. So this is going to be the end of my talk today. So the law of cause and effect will continue a little more. Do you have some questions?
What about when a person is living in a place where society or the government is making a decision, like with climate change? Someone is doing good karma, but the environment, the greater environment, is having an impact. So when we say my causes, my effects, are we talking on a greater societal level, like humanity is making these bad climate change decisions? How do you frame that?
That's a very good question. There is something that we don't have control over, but we still receive influence from them. How does the law of cause explain about that? That's a very good question. So, I'm going to answer the question in the next session. Thank you for the assignment.